Alright.
We're back.
Back with the Citadel of Time review.
Yep. I don't know if we mentioned it in the intro, because
I think I did, because I didn't care.
Oh, okay.
So, if I didn't, we first saw this game. Is this where you were going with it?
Yeah.
We first saw this game at Origins last year.
2017.
Right.
For all the people who watched this in like 5 years.
Yeah, so we first saw this, and we sat down at the table because it looks good. If you saw the board, we both thought it looked good.
Yeah.
And we sat down, and there were some pretty girls, so Jeb was like, I want to sit there. And I was like, okay, Jeb. They looked at us like, oh, great geeks. And then they lightened up, and they're like, oh, okay, these are normal people. As normal as we can possibly be.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, that's an aside. Anyways, so we played. It was by far our favorite game that we saw at Origins while we were there.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't for sale.
Yeah.
And then we both wept a little bit and then had to wait.
Every day it's like checking online. Is it on sale?
Is it on sale? And then we pre-ordered it, and then there were delays. So while all the people at Gen Con were able to pick up a game,
yep.
Jeb and I were sitting around twiddling our thumbs, hoping that someday that this game would be released. And so we were behind the 8 ball on the review too, because our plans were, as soon as that thing hit, we were doing a review on it, because that's how much we liked it. It was really, really fun. We both give it I'm going to speak for Jeb. I know he gives it 2 thumbs up. Can't say enough good things about it. It has, I won't say everything that we like, but just a whole lot of aspects that just make for a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
You want to say anything? You want me to keep flapping? Because
No,
I'll flap for a while.
If you want.
All right, so now, that being said, some of those things that we like is the artwork's great.
Yes.
The mechanics are super simple, and it's hard to win, but not impossible to win.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I really like, is that it's not one of those easy games that every time you play it, you're like, oh, I know the strategy to win now. It's every time you play it, it's like, I hope I don't lose again.
Yeah, and if you watched and you were a player that was like, that is super simple, like, why would that be hard? I just need to make sure this and this. The randomness that the dice throw in with the professor, I don't even care if you're, like, even if you've got the odds figured out, you could still roll really bad. I mean, I guess maybe there's somebody that could break the system. I can't. It's either some of the luck goes in your favor or some of it doesn't, because we have strategized, like, we've got this, and then just been hosed by a bad dice roll or
didn't I
whatever.
All my dice roll like screwed us over that game?
Because there's at some points where it's like, if like you've been working and working and working on a treasure, and then all of a sudden either the clock moves up, the professor moves right by it, goes into the room, and it just, like, I just put all that work into shutting off all these switches or whatever, and I'm one action away.
Yeah,
one action away,
part.
and I have no, like, you'll sit there for 5 minutes and see if there's anything that you missed.
Yep.
Because you're like, it's going away. I put all this time in, and there's no way to stop him from taking the treasure and putting it in his pile, and you weep a little bit because it's that bad. Yep. It really is. But
not only you, but the other people playing with you.
Yeah, but it makes you want to. It's one of those games where you just want. I have to win, and there's a very satisfying feeling about when you're able to do it. Now, there's times where you come out the gate and it's like, oh, we scored that right away. There's still time on the clock, and then wait, I got 2, he's got nothing, and all of a sudden turn around, he's got 3.
Yeah, in all the games I've played, it's never been a clean runaway for the players. Like, either the players will be ahead, but then the professor catches up, or the professor gets ahead, and then he either takes it, or you catch up, but never, oh, we got 4 treasures without him taking one.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I don't know that you could clean sweep.
Right.
Honestly, I mean, mathematically, I guess it's possible.
Things have to fall in the right place.
Oh, like literally. I mean, you'd have to have the exact right powers, be in the exact right rooms, with the exact right switches, the absolute best rolls that it could possibly be. Because remember, you know, switches are constantly getting turned back on. Doors are constantly getting relocked. Mm-hmm. Powers are constantly getting reset. Well, not constantly, but like...
You only get a finite number of flip overs for your power, like, because the clock is not going to be going around multiple times in the game. It's like, you're lucky if it goes 4 or 5.
You're lucky if you get 3. No, think about it.
That's true.
One, like, 3 flips of powers is literally 1 1/4 times around the clock. Yeah. And that's another good aspect of the game. It's not a long game either.
Right.
You're not going to spend hours and hours and hours playing the game unless somebody gets locked with like, I'm still thinking.
Yeah.
Well, just move, because I mean, just do the best thing that you think you can do, because it's not going to matter once you roll those dice. Mm-hmm. So, the powers are all pretty cool. You're going to find ones that personally you think are better than other ones, but they're all good.
And they're very thematic to each character, too. I like how they did that, because the girl in the blue dress, I know she does a lot of time manipulation stuff, and that's messing around with the clock itself or giving her more actions.
And the guy that I showed in the setup is he's a switch expert, so he messes with the switches.
Right. I don't remember what the other thing do. But yeah.
Well, one of the things that I kept saying is, like when we were talking about the professor moving into a room, one of the powers of, I forget who it is, one of the powers is they're unaffected by Professor Evil. They can go into a room with him. If he comes in the room, they don't get kicked out. You would think that doesn't sound that good. Oh. It is phenomenal. Yeah. It really is.
There's times where Professor Evil's on the board, and he's in between you and he's on the shortest route to where you want to go. But since he's there, you're like, I got to take the long way around, or have somebody else do it instead of me. So.
And if you get kicked out, and what you're working on was all the way on the other side, or maybe not even on the other side, but far enough away where, remember, you get 3 actions. It took you 3 moves just to get back to where you were.
And that's if doors are open.
That's if doors are open. So, again, I just, both of us were just, we were just like, when can we get this? Yeah. And unfortunately, this is coming out almost a year later after release. I wish we could have done this and been one of the first ones out of the gate with it, because that's, for our channel, and plus we really liked it that much. We were really, really, really excited to get it out to you, and then we didn't do it right when it came in, because we knew other people had done it, and not that we didn't like it, but we had already started other processes and things like that. That being said, it's a year later. We've probably played this thing probably not a dozen times yet, but we're getting probably close for us.
Yeah.
Well, he's played it a couple times. I think every time I've played it, it's been a game with him. I know that Jeb has played it a few times with his friends. So he's well, whatever. Yeah. My point is, this has gotten played a lot for, because we're always trying to get stuff filmed, and, this isn't our full-time job. So for something to come out, above 5 times is doing really good. You wouldn't think that with the games I have behind me, but anyhow.
And I think we've only won once, right? Maybe twice?
Well, we won at Origins.
We won at Origins.
Jeb didn't get a phone number, though.
Yeah. So you guys won, not me. And then I think we won once while we were playing it here.
I think we did.
Someplace.
Yeah, I think we've So that just goes to show again, it's difficult to win, and but not it's the difficulty isn't like every time you break it out of the box you're like that you just get crushed. Most of the time it's kind of down to the wire. Now there has been a couple games where it's like, wow, we just got hammered.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens, but most of the time, even if one side gets a little ahead the other, it seems to come down to the wire.
Yeah.
Like it's like, you know, and then there's a lot of that stuff again, like we said earlier, that it's like, oh, if this doesn't happen, we can get it. Just please don't roll this.
Yeah.
Just please don't roll this.
And then Jeb rolls it.
Or what happens is you're like, please don't roll this. Please don't roll this. You roll it, and it's not that, but it was something you didn't see.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, that was bad too.
Yeah.
So anyways, again, can't say enough good things about the game. So we'll get into...
Yeah, I think we like immediately bought it when it came up too. Like both of us.
Oh yeah, we both pre-ordered it the
was
second
like...
that it came out. And then again, like I said, then there was a production issue, and then retail didn't get it when they were supposed to, so we had to wait extra long.
And then I went on vacation.
And then you went on vacation.
I think when you got it eventually, right?
Yeah, because I ordered both copies of this game. So I think we'll get in... Let's go over stuff to remember first. I think, for me, one of the biggest things is, if you remember when we were talking about Professor movement, you move by whatever the carpet is in the room. Well, at the doorway are both carpets from the one you move into and the one you're moving out from. It is really, really, really easy to focus on the one that he's going into. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, in my fingers, like, this is the green carpet and this is the red carpet that you're going into, and roll red, and you'll pick this when the red door is on the other side of the room. It's really, really easy to do. I hope that makes sense on what... I don't know why he's laughing, because he knows it's true.
They can't see your fingers. That's why I'm laughing.
Okay, Jeb, cut that out. Okay, my fingers. Look at my fingers, Jeb. Okay, red carpet, green carpet, and this is the room I'm going into. You might pick on the roll green and like look at this carpet. Remember, it's the carpet in the room that he focuses on. Oh, Jeb's not going to let me live that one down.
Nope, that's going in the blooper reel.
That is going in the blooper reel. Anyways, I think that's one of the bigger things, is making sure he goes through the right door when you're moving him around.
Another thing that we kind of forget, because we play there's so much time in between plays of this game, is that when you claim a treasure, you're supposed to flip all the switches back on. Yeah. I know when we first got the game, we forgot that a couple times, but we're better now at it since we played it more.
And that's kind of a huge difference if you don't turn the stuff back on. We usually catch ourselves though.
Right.
And it hasn't ruined the game yet, but he's right. It's almost some of the stuff is like Jeb's favorite thing. Remember to do everything in order, because he's caught me quite a few times. You spend so much time like strategizing what I'm doing on the turn, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I got this great turn. Okay, Jeb, it's your turn. And Jeb goes, Mickey, you didn't roll for the professor yet.
Yep, that's the other one.
That's the other one. So, and then you get really sad because you're like, I got myself set up. I got my partner set up. We're going to get this treasure. Yep. And Jeb's like, you didn't move the professor yet. And then he's going to destroy everything that you just did.
Yep. So, I think those are the big three things that are mostly forgetting.
Which is funny because they're main things that you have to do. I think, order-wise, is the rolling of the professor die. That's the only order thing. Stuff on the board is really the movement of the professor going through the wrong door. So. And
then I know the powers don't come up too often. So if you're a character who is like, I think once per turn you can remove a door or something like that, or open a door. Like, if it's one of those, and you get that towards the end of the game, you're like, I haven't had access to this power the whole game, so I kind of forget about it.
Yeah,
so
that could be.
There's a chance you can forget about your power, so if you get the chance to flip your power, make sure you utilize it as best as you can.
Definitely. I think those are the big things, at least, that we've come across when we've played as being easy to forget. Can't think of anything else. So, who wouldn't not like this game?
People who don't like cooperative games. Like, if you want a game with competition, this game is completely co-op.
Yep.
You're not trying. There's no secret agendas between players or anything like that. So it's definitely everybody versus the game.
And if you don't work together, I don't know that you could win.
Right. Yeah.
I really don't. So definitely, if you're not a co-op person, although I will say, if you're not a co-op person, this would be one that I would say
definitely give it a try. Yeah.
Because I don't know, it's one of the best I've seen. I like it a lot, obviously. I think it's a good anybody game, like even a person that's not much of a gamer, because if you can't teach those 3 rules,
right.
I mean, those 3 actions, it's kind of like, and it only takes a couple turns before you're like, oh, okay, I know what I think I could do these 3 things. And since it's co-op, if you're teaching somebody, it's really easy to help coach them along. And I don't mean like tell them what to do every time, but for the first couple turns, you're going to be like, well, look, if you do this, then we can get like that switch turned off. And then it'll start to click in their head. Oh, okay, now I can look at the rest of the cast.
And it also kind of helps, like, if somebody's about to do something and you see something that they might not have considered, just be like, oh, did you think about that? Because, I mean, sometimes people miss it. Like, there's a lot of things to take into consideration. So.
Since we don't play with a ton of people, Jeb and I really don't have the alpha gamer thing, because I think we work pretty well together. I mean, if we're both adamant on one thing, usually we just roll a die or something, and then we just go with it and we're fine. It doesn't happen often. Usually one of us can convince the other one to give up. So we don't usually have... I think that's true.
I find the wording
the wording. Well, it's kind of what we do.
I convince you to give up.
Not from a win perspective, from a co-op perspective.
Right.
I'm never giving in to him. I hate when he wins. You guys know that. So we don't have that problem. I mean, if you had somebody that was really, really like hardcore alpha gamer, I don't know that I'd invite them to this, because they'd be trying to tell everybody exactly what to do, whose power to turn on, when and when you couldn't do anything. And then that doesn't make this kind of game fun. So if you got one of those in your group, you might want to shy away from it, although I would shy away from it playing with him. I would still buy the game and play with people that don't do that. Because it's a really fun discussion game because like what Jeb just pointed out a second ago, he might see something that I didn't and be like, well, he's still got that power. If you go over here, they'll be able to do that. And you're like, oh, that's awesome. I'm going to do that.
Right.
And then it makes it fun when it comes out like that, rather than do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't even think that pays off. I mean, they can tell you to do something, but with what's going to happen when the professor moves,
when he moves,
it doesn't. It's not like one of those things where it's like, if I can position myself, this is going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's like, you'd have to have yourself in the right position while a treasure was 55 minutes away and be, like, right there for some coincidence or something. And even then, you're not guaranteed, because if he switches on just one switch, I mean, you missed. Yeah. So anyways.
I was trying to think of somebody who wouldn't like it, and I was thinking, like, there is a good amount of thinking on your turn. like of the different possibilities, but the fact that it's co-op, you kind of have the other players to cover your bases as well. So even if you don't like to think a lot, like, I mean, not like don't think a lot, but like think or plan in advance, like all the multiple things that could happen. Like even if you don't do that much depth of thinking, like other people will be doing the same thing as well. Because you're all pretty much trying to figure out what's going to happen.
Yeah. So I mean, even though there is a lot of strategy, I wouldn't say you have to be a strategy like person to enjoy the game, because like Jeb just said, you know, I mean, if you hate it all, I wouldn't say play it. Like if you just like you know, I'm just gonna sit there and let you tell me what to do. That doesn't sound like fun to me either. But as long as you have a little bit of like desire to be like, oh, I want to help get the treasures or whatever, then you'll have fun with it. Yeah.
I think that's about all I have to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say, because honestly, it would make me sad if somebody didn't like the game, and I'm sure there's people out there that don't care for it, think it's too light, or you know, or they never win or whatever. It just clicked with both of us, though. That's all I can tell you.
Super easy to teach, and it's really fun to play. I mean, what more could you ask for?
That's my opinion, and not a big footprint either. It's a pretty pretty thin box.
The setup's not difficult either. I mean,
quick setup.
It's like I would definitely play this game with somebody who hasn't played board games. I think it's a pretty good game.
I would too. I mean, I don't know if it's total intro game, but it's pretty close in my opinion. And that's another thing to me that makes it really good, because I think you can use it as an intro game, but I don't think you get tired of it either.
Nope.
I mean, not for at least for a long time. So anyways, if you couldn't tell, yeah, we like it, and that's it for now.
If you have any questions or comments, let us know. Check out our other videos, and we also have a Ko-fi that should be in the description below if you want to help support us and, I don't know, get other new games, new episodes
new
or whatever.
Games. It'd be nice to have like a nice mic for the camera too.
Yeah.
So that, you know, it didn't matter where we were, that, you know, the audio would be the same. But, you know, we're working on it. So that's it.
All right. See ya.
Boards and Booze. Booze and Boards with Mickey and Jeb.